Hello friends, this video on NEET Human Health and Diseases is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Which of the following is not used as a biopesticide? Bacillus thuringiensis, Trichoderma hertzianum, nuclear polyhedrosis virus, or Xanthomonas campestris. So out of these, which is not used as a biopesticide? So if you look at all the names, so obviously this is an insecticide. These two are also used as pesticides. But if you look at the last name, it is a symbiotic nitrogen fixing bacteria. So it has nothing to do with pesticides. So it doesn't have the ability to kill pests or insects. It is just a symbiotic nitrogen fixing bacteria. So this is not a biopesticide. Question number 54. What is true about Bt toxin? The inactive protoxin gets converted into active form in the insect gut. Bt protein exists as active toxin in the bacillus. The activated toxin enters the ovaries of the pest to sterilize it and thus prevent its multiplication. The concerned bacillus has antitoxins. Now let us quickly talk a little bit about the Bt toxin. So this Bt toxin as such is inactive. It remains inactive as such, but it becomes active in the high pH of the insect gut. So the moment it enters into the insect gut, this inactive toxin becomes active, right? So basically our option A is correct. Now what happens when it becomes active? Now the toxins, once it enters inside the insect gut, it becomes active and then it attacks the gut cells. So therefore the Bt spores spills out of the gut. It germinates in the insect, causing the death of the insect in a few days. So basically the toxin becomes toxic only when it enters inside the insect gut. And why it becomes active? Because of the high pH value inside the insect gut. Question number 55. Main objective of production or use of herbicide resistant genetically modified crops is to eliminate weeds from the field without the use of manual labor, eliminate weeds from the field without the use of herbicides, encourage eco-friendly herbicides, reduce herbicide accumulation in food particles for health safety. So just think about it. Why do we encourage the use of herbicide resistant crops? So why are we genetically modifying crops such that they by themselves are resistant to herbicides? So that we can reduce, because in that case we do not want external herbicides to be used on those crops because they are anyways resistant to the herbicides. Because these days what's happening is when we use so much of chemicals, so much of herbicides, so even though they kill the unwanted plants or the unwanted weeds, but the herbicides also accumulate in the food particles, and as a result it kind of enters into the food chain and it increases the toxic level of the food increases. Right? So therefore, to reduce the herbicide accumulation in the food particles for health safety, we are producing herbicide resistant genetically modified crops. Question number 56. Which one of the following statements is correct? Extensive use of chemical fertilizers may lead to eutrophication of nearby water bodies. Both Arobacter and Rhizobium fix atmospheric nitrogen in root nodules of plants. Cyanobacteria such as Anabaena and nostoc are important mobilizers of phosphates and potassium for plant nutrition in the soil. At present, it is not possible to grow maize without chemical fertilizers. So let us analyze each of the statements one by one. So this time let us start with the last statement. It is not possible to grow maize without chemical fertilizers. It is very much possible. Like, it is not necessary that you always need chemical fertilizers to grow maize. You can even use biofertilizers, right? So that's what we call as organic farming. So in organic farming, we minimize the use of chemical fertilizers. So this is very much possible. So this is not correct. Option C, cyanobacteria such as Anabaena and nostoc are important mobilizers of phosphates and potassium for plant nutrition in the soil. Now primarily they fix nitrogen in the soil. Phosphates and potassium are just an addition to the nitrogen. So they are primarily for nitrogen. Both Arobacter and Rhizobium fix atmospheric nitrogen in root nodules of plants. Well, Rhizobium does so because Rhizobium is present in the root nodule of leguminous plants. But when it comes to Arobacter, So Azotobacter is a free living nitrogen fixing bacteria. So it doesn't live in the root nodules of plants. So this is also not correct. Extensive use of chemical fertilizers may lead to eutrophication of nearby water bodies. So that's absolutely true, because when you use excessive chemical fertilizers, then what happens? These fertilizers may get washed away to the nearby bodies, nearby water bodies because of rain or irrigation. Now what happens to the water body? The water body gets excessive nutrients. So this excessive nutrients cause dense growth of plant life in the water body. So as a result, this over a period of time leads to eutrophication of the nearby water bodies. So the correct option is A. Question number 57. During anaerobic digestion of organic waste, such as in producing biogas, which one of the following is left undegraded? Hemicellulose, cellulose, lipids, or lignin. So lignin is one such compound which is not decomposed. It is a complexed polymeric molecule which is made up of phenyl propanoid units, and it cannot be degraded further. So it has got a very complex structure, and therefore it is left undegraded during anaerobic digestion. Question number 58. Farmers have reported over 50% of higher yields of rice by using which of the following biofertilizer? Mycorrhiza, Azolla pinnata, cyanobacteria, legume, rhizobium symbiosis. So obviously the correct option would be Azolla, because as we have seen that legume rhizobium symbiosis, this works for leguminous plants. Now rice doesn't fall under that category. Now when you talk about mycorrhiza, that is a symbiotic association between fungi and plants. So that also doesn't play a role here. So we have heard about the Azolla-Anabina relationship, where Azolla is a fern and Anabina is a cyanobacteria which fixes nitrogen. So it is a nitrogen fixing cyanobacteria which lives in the leaf cavities of Azolla pinnata. So Azolla pinnata contains Anabina in its leaf cavities, and moreover Azolla doesn't interfere with the growth of the rice plants. So when we use Azolla as a biofertilizer for rice plants, that really helps, because Azolla anyways contain Anabina which fixes atmospheric nitrogen. Question number 59. What is Agent Orange? A biodegradable insecticide, a weedicide containing dioxin, color used in fluorescent lamp, a hazardous chemical used in luminous paints. Now Agent Orange is basically a herbicide. So this is a herbicide. What is herbicide? Herbicide is any substance which kills unwanted herbs like the weeds, the unwanted plants. Now so this Agent Orange is actually mixture of equal parts of two herbicides. So what are those two herbicides? So one herbicide is 2,4,5-T and the other herbicide is 2,4-D, and mixture of these two herbicides in equal parts gives Agent Orange. Right? Now this Agent Orange, even though it's a herbicide which kills unwanted weeds, but it damages health of a lot of people because it causes contamination in the environment, because it accumulates in the food chain. So even though it is a herbicide, as a herbicide it is fine, but it harms the environment. So that way it is really not good. So the answer would be a weedicide. Weedicide means something which kills weeds. So weeds are also herbs. Weedicide containing dioxin. And these herbicides, since it contains dioxin, this dioxin specifically accumulates in the food chain, and that is how it harms the environment. So option B is the correct one. Question number 60. Suppression of reproduction of one type of organism by utilizing some features of its biology or physiology to destroy it, or by use of another organism, is known as competition, predation, biological control, or physiological control. So this is not a matter of competition, because the two organisms are not competing with each other. So basically the population of one organism is being controlled by utilizing some other organism. So that is not competition. But this is biological control, because you are controlling the population of one organism, or you are controlling the reproduction of one organism by using some other organisms. So controlling with the help of other living organisms. So that is biological control. So it's option C is the correct option. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com for free quality education. You can learn with a simple 4-step learning process wherein you can watch video lessons, you can ask your questions, you can refer notes, and you can take a free online test. We have content for class 6 to 12 on physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology along with practical videos. So please subscribe to our channel for daily updates. Thank you.